If your camper van has an accordion style fly screen or bug screen with a broken string, you've come to the right video. I'm Ray, and you're watching the Corn Dog Caravan channel. My wife Chris and I decided there's more to life than working and doing house projects. So we sold everything we own, built out a Ram Promaster we call Lotus because others think it's stupid, and are traveling full-time, seeing friends, family, and exploring the beautiful country around us, along with our 2 Boston Terriers. So about a year ago today, we had a string break in our fly screen. I reached out to Horrex, who actually makes the fly screen, and they were happy enough to send me a repair string kit. Now, the cording is very special. I haven't been able to find it here in the United States. Almost a year to the day, again, we had a second string break. So in today's video, we're actually going to be repairing both strings and go ahead and get them all set back. And hopefully it'll last us at least another year. We do travel full-time, and we use this fly screen, this bug screen, daily many times, so it does get a lot of use. Everyone's build's going to be a little different. Ours was a self-build. This is not a Travato, but we call it the Rayvato. Now, the steps to remove the door assembly are as follows. First step, we're going to come down, and at top and the bottom there's a string set that runs along the bottom of this track, and I've already got some tension loose, and there's a little clip here. You're going to just basically pull back, that comes off, come up to the top just like the bottom, like that, and drop this. Also, I may show it at the end of the video, but this is also how you tension or tighten and adjust the tension of the fly screen, the bug screen. If you're finding that it's not pulling correctly, if it's got too much slack at the bottom, pull the top string. If it's got too much slack, gap up here, pull the bottom string, and then, adjust the Allen wrench. All right, so let's get the moving on to this. So what we're gonna need is a #1 screwdriver to get these little guys. So the first thing we're going to do is take these 2 screws out here. We'll take these 2 out, and we'll take this one out, and then we'll take this top one out, and then this entire bottom section will just come out once you have any of your vertical tie-ins. So I've got, I think, 6 tie-ins here that I've attached to the van wall inside. So I'll take those out. Once those are all out, this entire track will just pull away and come out of the top here. So let's get moving. Screw #1, #2, and this simply just pulls down, and you'll see the string runs down through this track, through the slot here, and then runs along the bottom track, and you'll see on the back side here they've got it where it comes out kind of a smooth, and you can see where the string over 2 years of use has kind of started to rub a little spot, but no problem. So we'll just leave that attached for now, and then we'll remove the next 2. So starting here at the top cap, you're going to need a #1 screwdriver. A #1 tip Phillips head is a really small Phillips head. So if you're looking at a screwdriver and you don't know, usually they mark it right here. #1 Phillips. So we'll take these out and then take the bottom out. This piece off first, and then put it in a little Ziploc bag, and that way I've got it all together. All the screw sizes should be the same. I believe they're #6. They are machine screws. So we're going to put those and keep those individually bagged just to kind of keep it straight. Now, before I slide this off, I'm just going to point out on this little plastic piece, you've got this little tab that fits in this open groove here. And right here, you're going to see the screen material slips into this little space right here. So when you're putting it all back together, make sure that that groove, this little piece right here, is slipping into that little space here. Okay, so moving on to the bottom of the fly screen. Again, this is going to be the left side, which will be the rear of the van, front side. Now, since the front side is the one where the string is actually, if you, I guess you'd say, sliding within the track, what you're going to really want to pay attention to when you're taking it all apart, and keep in mind, guys, that yours may be slightly different, I guess, engineered as far as, you know, the caps, maybe what they look like, but the design itself is going to be the same, where you have a fixed point on the left side and then the moving part within on the right. Now the string that comes out of the groove here, it enters this plastic piece from the top, comes around underneath, comes around here. Now when that string, when you're putting this all back together, that string is going to continue to run, and you're going to come down to this piece, which is on the outside and attaches with 2 screws. Essentially, you're just going to come in from the top and go into that little hole here, and then that's going to run underneath, and I'll show you how that routes when we get rolling. Now, one other tool you're going to need is an Allen wrench set. These are metric, because on this string there's actually a piece that this string goes through and attaches and tightens down with an Allen wrench. It's like a set with a set screw, and that's used to set the tension. Again, your model might be slightly different, so make adjustments accordingly. Moving on, now this is going to be the left hand track. This is the part that actually attaches to the van. I've already gotten the screws removed, and just like the other, screws are removed, and we're just going to slide this out. When you take that off, put that in a Ziploc bag, and then you're going to see this is the screen material that accordions within. So we'll be just sliding this out of the tracks next. Next, just going to hold the screen material as best as I can and just gently slide this part out of the groove of the screen material. Now I'm going to stop for a minute. You'll see here, this is where the screen goes in. There's one of the brass grommets, and then you'll see the top string coming out of this first hole, and then it's running down the track, and then the strings from the bottom are coming up and out. So we're just going to continue to slide this out. Be very careful. You don't want to cut the screen at all on the sharp metal edges. And then that string just comes right out of that groove. Now it may be hard to see on camera, but starting from the bottom, you're going to see where this first string here comes out through the little metal grommet, and then it's going to come up this way and then meet up with the same continuous string that's coming out of spot number 2, and then these will continue to run up in that track that we just removed that runs up this way. Likewise, from the top, you've got the 2. The first one comes out here, next one comes out here. Spacing is a little different, but when the string breaks, it actually doesn't completely break. What you're going to find, there's a solid core inside, which is super durable. I've never had the solid core break. It's the outer kind of, I guess, nylon, this black material that acts as the friction point. That seems to be what fails, and you'll see here it's kind of frayed. So that's what happens. And what you'll find, or at least in our case both times, was once that black outer nylon shreds, it makes it where the door, you can't either open it or close it. It's usually, it seems to always have broken with us once it's been open and we're trying to close it, then the nylon binds up and then you can't close it. So it's kind of a pain, especially if you're like both times. I think it's started to rain and we were sliding it in and the string, well, shredded or whatever you want to call it. So luckily the second time I knew quickly how to remove the track and everything. It was just a couple of screws. So let's get the string in. And just like with the first cassette, what we're going to do now is we're going to take the screen out of the, I guess the solid attach piece that attaches to the band, and this simply just slides in the groove just like the other one. On the end you're going to have the solid piece that holds everything together, you know, at least the strings and everything. That slides in this little groove here in the metal, and then the accordion part just goes in this empty open kind of C-channel track here. So we'll just slide this out and then get the screen removed. And again, just be very gentle, try not to catch the screen on any metal edges. And what I'm doing here is I'm getting the string just pulled back through, back to its original spot. Just be very careful. This outer nylon, if it starts to back up, just like with a wire, like a wire sheathing, it just makes it bigger. So as you pull it here, you kind of pull it out to its tight spot on the string, and then that'll get it kind of bunched back up so it's closer to the string. That's the best way I can describe it. And then you got a little bit of gap. That's just where the nylon has pulled back, and I can pull it back to here. So as you'll see here, the string comes, the one single string comes around here. I don't know what the number 313 means, but this is attached with some tape. So this one string comes through here, runs up, comes in this grommet hole, and then through the screen. So that's screen number, or string number 1. String number 2 in the back, same thing, comes around the back side here, through the screen here, up, and then through. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so last year when I ran the string and did the replacement, I think I spent at least 3 to 4 hours, maybe more, trying to get this string threaded through the screen, because I wanted to use the existing holes so that it pulls straight and doesn't do any, you know, binding. I thought this time I'm going to try something a little bit different. Now you'll see here the tolerance on this little brass grommet's really tight, not really enough room for a larger needle. So what I'm going to try, I've got a couple of different things I'm going to try today. The first is I've got a piece of braided like picture cord, like for hanging pictures, and I've unbraided the end, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the string, the new string, or actually, you know what, take that back. I'm going to take the old string and put it through, I'll spread this out, twist the wires around it and tighten it to the string, and try to pull this back through. I just want it to be easier. I'm sure somebody out there has seen a threading device that works probably much better than what I'm coming up with. So if you do, and you've got a better idea or something you've seen in a similar situation, because the hole in this grommet might be 1/8 of an inch at most. So it's going to take a really small needle. And I tried taping string, and what happens, the grommet's the easy part, is getting it through the screen material and not hanging up. So again, if you've got something that you've seen and you think will be better, please put it in the comments below. Okay, so in the last shot I was explaining how I was going to try the braided method using a little galvanized picture hanger, I guess, wire. That did not work. So I went back to a similar way I did last year's threading, which is actually using dental floss. So very tedious, but I was actually a little bit faster this time. So I'm using waxed dental floss, regular dental floss, not the Teflon. I think last year I used Teflon, and I think it had a little bit too much give. So I'm going to show here with the camera. What I did first, on the original thread, before I pulled it all the way through and then would never be able to get it back through the same hole, I tied dental floss maybe about a 4 to 5 foot section. That way I had plenty of leeway on both sides. Tied it off really tight to the original string, and then slowly pulled, and then tied a knot with the dental floss, pulled that through this first one. And you can pick whichever side you want to take it from. I'm starting from the end, that way I'm pulling fresh line through, and pulled the dental floss through on the original string, and then on the dental floss end, then I tied my new string. And the hard part is this cording is, even when you fold it in half and tie it, the thickness is a little tough. But slowly but surely was able to pull it all the way back through and got my first one done. I found that keeping tension on this side and then just kind of using my fingers with my left hand, pulling the screen like this, kind of one pleat at a time, it helped me pull the dental floss with the new cording through this way. So 1 down, 4 to go. Now in this shot, this is the original screen for the second line, and I've got my dental floss tied around here as good as I can. And then what I'm going to do is just slowly pull this through this side now, through the little grommet. Oh. I think if you keep tension on the dental floss as you're pulling it, it kind of keeps everything tight. And I'm getting hung up. So I'll just pull this back. Now maybe because I'm using the waxed, maybe that's why it's just, you know, a little bit too much slip. So if you're trying this yourself, maybe try non-waxed dental floss. Let's try this again. Oh. I'm going to retry the knot. Glad I've got patience. You're on camera. Come on in.
Come on in, huh?
Yeah, I'm filming.
You're filming?
Hey, say hey, Steve.
What you filming?
I'm filming for YouTube.
Oh, cool.
What's
Hi,
that?
Brutus.
I'm just hanging.
You're just hanging back there?
Yeah.
What's up, Brutus boy? I'm heading to the hardware store too.
You're gonna rob the hardware store?
Rob the hardware store and rob the rentals too. You guys need anything?
I don't think so.
Okay. He's back up there now, not there?
Oh,
Free
playing
play
games.
I hear you.
Thank you, though.
Oh, sure. And just hanging.
All right, with the magic of television, I've got this second one threaded through. So you'll see that's the original corded string, and then you'll see the dental floss. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull the old string through, and now I'm going to slowly pull my dental floss tied to my new string. Getting it through the first grommet sometimes seems to be the hardest first step, so I get that through. It's through there now. Pull that back a little. And but before, I'm going to keep some tension here, and then just kind of pleat by pleat maybe pull the string through. You're probably thinking I'm crazy. Okay, I don't want to brag, but I actually got this one done in just a few minutes. So here's where the new one's coming out with the string tied to the dental floss. That one is through. Now, since it is double string, I'm going to get the short piece pulled through. There we go. Well, let's pull the whole thing. So there's my... There we go. So there is my new string. Now I'm just going to pull that through. Now each string, so again, there's 2 strings total. One does a loop through, so it makes it look like 2. Each string is a total of 20 feet long, or maybe just a hair under 20 feet. So when Horrex, if they send you, or you were able to find a repair kit, they're going to send you likely one string that's 40 feet long. Just fold it in half and cut it to 20 feet. Now when you're sliding your screen assembly into the track, both for the permanent fixed position and also for the slider piece, I'm pointing but you can't see it, when you're installing the screen track assembly into the groove, you'll need to have some exposure at the top. I'm putting about 3/8 of an inch, just a little over a quarter, exposed here so that the track lines up. You may have to make some adjustments. I did once. I couldn't remember where I had it last time, so I had to take the track back out one time and then put it back in. I think I had this too flush here. Also on the receiving side, this groove that you see right here, that same screen material, there's a solid, I don't know what it's made of, but it holds the grommet. It's kind of the, I guess the strength of the screen. That's in this groove, and then the other one's in the groove here. So that slide piece can actually come almost all the way up to the point here, which is about a ½ inch from here to the edge where this piece mounts to the metal. So you'll just need to make some final adjustments. It's easy, it's just taking it in and out. You'll get good at it though. I have. Alright, so we are all complete. I've got everything attached here, all the screws, the tension here set, everything is adjusted. So we are finished. So guys, if this has helped you with your Flyscreen string repair, Horrex is the company. So they're out of the Netherlands. Horrex makes all these Flyscreens for, you know, Ducatos, for Promasters, Sprinters, Transit, pretty much they make everything. They are a wholesaler. Luckily and thankfully they have sent us now twice repair string kits. But they told me, I really need to go through a retailer, and the retailers in Europe have not been able to respond to me. So I hope I find a supplier, and really need to find the cording. It really can't be that special, but it is very durable and everything. I'm gonna maybe look at some fishing line to see if that would work. But if this has helped you, give us a thumbs up if you like what you see. Comment down below. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for those that have subscribed. I really do hope that this helps somebody, because it's, without the screen, it's night and day. The bugs, the fly, really it's just the flies. And the flies and bees, we're everywhere we go, we're surrounded by flies and bees. But this screen really helps keep them out. So hit that notification bell. Thanks, guys. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and let us know if it was helpful. Also, please comment below if you have any questions about the van build or suggestions about the future content as we build out this channel. Follow us along our journey on Facebook or Instagram using Corndog Caravan. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button and tell your friends about our channel.